mind, intellect, intuition, and understanding are not yet fully developed. As a society, we recognize this fact and do not allow children to smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, or engage in other high-risk activities. We do this to protect children from themselves until they have the maturity to weigh the risks and rewards and make an informed decision for themselves. That is why I believe no one under the age of 18 should be allowed to play football. Period. Should adults play? I do not think so, but that is their decision. However, before any adult steps onto a football field, they need to understand that nothing protects the human brain from the force of impact experienced in full contact sports. God did not design us for such impact. He did so for other animals. The woodpecker has a built-in shock absorber to protect its brain as it bangs into the side of a tree. Woodpeckers can play football safely. Humans cannot, not even with the latest state-of-the-art equipment. Helmets protect the skin and the skull and keep the skull from fracturing, but no helmet can ever provide complete cushioning for the brain. Why does this matter? The brain, unlike most other organs that make up the human body, does not have the capacity to cure itself. Broken legs heal. Neurons do not. When brain cells are damaged or die in both concussive and subconcussive hits, they are gone. That is why I believe football can never be made safe, at least not in anything approaching the form of the game today. The next question I am asked is, why are you so against football? Why do you hate the game? I plead innocence. I do not hate football. I have nothing against the game itself. My wife, Prima, grew up in Kenya and never saw an American football game until she moved to this country in 2001. Almost immediately, she was captivated by the beauty and elegance of the game. I must admit, it is a beautiful game, albeit a violent beauty. When I see the sport through her eyes, I can see why so many millions love the game. It is a wonder to behold when it is played at a high level. But I did not learn the game by watching it on the field or on television. My introduction to football came when one of the greatest players to ever play the game came to me, hoping I might be able to find the answer to why he died far too young and why he suffered so much torment the last years of his life. People thought he had lost his mind because he had lost his memory and frequently could not remember his way home. Mike also battled depression and other mood disorders. By the time I met Mike, he was addicted to drugs, had lost his intelligence, and could not hold his thought or engage in complex reasoning. In the end, he was bankrupt and homeless. When Mike Webster died, people used respectful terms to describe his playing career. Yet there was an underlying, almost a mocking tone that questioned why he made so many poor choices that ruined his life after he retired from football. I heard these people describe his life as tragic and a waste. Then I met Mike Webster on the autopsy table. When I met him, I knew I had to find the answers for the problems that plagued him. This was my calling, my duty as a fellow human being made in the image of God. My search for answers and justice for Mike Webster introduced me to the game of football. Before I ever watched a single play on the field, I observed the toll the game takes on the human body, especially the brain. Mike Webster suffered from a completely preventable brain malady called Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy, or CTE. I say preventable because if Mike Webster had never played football, he almost certainly would still be alive today, and the two of us would never have had reason to meet. So what do I have against football? Why do I hate the game? I do not hate it, but I hate the toll it takes on those who play it. Does that mean I am against football?